Okay, today we are talking about providing feedback in a way that increases motivation. This is particularly for feedback that is constructive, so not always positive. Let's look at the differences. We're going to talk about some examples. We will look at the ineffective way and the effective way. So here's the first one. Instead of saying something like, "You seem like you have nothing to do," instead you want to say, "We want to utilize your time better." What you've done here is applied positive action. Because you've applied positive action, you're more likely to get what you want from the individual. The next one we have is, "Your team do not seem to like you." Now, this is something that does happen in the workplace, so let's talk about what you should say instead. Are you facing barriers in working with your team? What you're doing here instead is you're asking questions. When you ask questions, you're opening up two-way communication channels, which allows your team to open up, and then you can get to the root cause of the issue and get your team to align better. The next one we have is, "You're not good at your job at all." This does get said by managers. A lot of managers say this, not always because of the heat of the moment, but in reviews, performance reviews, for example. Instead, what you want to say is, "We've noticed some gaps. Do you need further training?" Here, what you're doing is you're providing a solution. Now, the solution that you are suggesting here is further training. So if you've noticed some gaps, think about things like training, invest in upskilling, invest in promotion, invest in learning. The next one that we want to look at is, "You didn't understand the project objectives." Here you are just making a statement. You're not going to get what you want out of your employee if you're just making a statement. What you want to say instead is, "I'll explain the objectives in another way. Ask questions if you're unsure." So here, what you'd be doing is following a framework for communication. We've spoken about frameworks previously, so scroll to previous videos to find out about the LEAF method as an example. If you're following these ways of providing feedback, you will increase motivation if you've got fear of decreasing motivation.